What about Reddit?
Reddit, I did discuss that a little bit, but it's one of those social media sites that definitely, I would say maybe second to Dig, in terms of the popularity and its reach. So,
Now tell us about SMX. How important is that?
um, it's a very valuable conference, actually. I spoke at SMX social media in October of 2007. Was invited to speak at the other one in April of this past year, but I was out of town. And I mean, the thing about it, it's run by Danny Sullivan and Third Door Media, and they do a really, really great job of collaborating with the speakers and making it such a memorable conference. The tracks that they try to provide are really are they try to provide beginners tracks and advanced tracks, and I think that well they do a great job, and also they emphasize comfort for people who attend. So one of the important things for them is to provide a great meal. And they really do that. I mean, these are kind of the small things really make all the difference, and SMX really does have that up. They do a pretty good job at delivering.
Yeah, we're
So.
watching some photos from your Flickr stream. I think that you took these at SMX, so that's kind of cool to see some of the pictures you took while you were there of the different books and people you encountered at that event. Where did they have that this year?
The last one was at Seattle,
Seattle,
but
okay.
they had there's SMX Advanced, which was at Seattle. There was SMX West, which was in Santa Clara, California. The one before that I attended was SMX Social Media, which was in New York, which was great for me. And the first one I think I went to was SMX at Seattle Advanced, the first one. So they just had their second SMX event. The next one that's coming up is October 6th to the 8th, and it's in New York City at the Jacob Javits Center. I it's going to be huge with regards to just search engine marketing, and I'm sure there's gonna. I'm not sure, but I think there might be some emphasis on social media, not completely positive, because I think they do have their own social media type of conference now. But it is highly recommended that if you can go to it, go to it.
All right, I'm going to wrap it up with a final question here, and tell us what are your dreams, what are your plans, what's your outlook for the next year or so, and what are your aspirations for the future?
Wow, that's the challenging question of the day. You know, I love what I do, so in a way, I don't want things to change. But in a way, there are a lot of different great opportunities coming at me. Possibility of a book, and a magazine column. So I kind of want things to stay status quo, but I'd love to see like what's being thrown at me next. I'm very passionate about this stuff, and I like seeing the evolution of social media. I kind of hope that doesn't get to go away. Um, but it's really hard to answer, on this on such a this is totally it's hard for me to admit this because I do a really crappy job with podcasting in general. But none of this was rehearsed, so and I have no idea what to say for this answer. But you know, I I just hope that things stay the same, but I hope that I build a lot more strong social connections, and um, hopefully I don't know if you'll be at South by Southwest, but hopefully I'll be there and we can actually meet in person. Those are the kind of connections. I have connections online and then solidify them, um, in person. So that's I guess what I'll end it with.
Yeah, I plan on being there, and I hope to meet you in person. And that is one of the
Excellent.
joys of social networking is that ultimately it ends up in a face-to-face encounter, or something like we're doing right now, where we can experience each other and get to know each other better
Right.
through actually talking. Which is maybe the ultimate goal of all this virtual stuff is to get face to face. And I really enjoyed chatting with you, and look forward to following you on Techipedia and on all your other sites on Mashable, and you're doing a great job, and keep up the great work, and sure enjoyed talking to you today.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Well, I just, I thank you for having me, and looking at the call duration, we're almost on 50 minutes. And I got to say, thanks for tolerating that.
That's fine. That's
Um,
fine.
yeah, I mean, I found this a very, very interesting call. So,
All right.
yeah, I
Well,
appreciate.
great. I'm going to bid you good day and have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. And this will be on austincast.com and spring.net, and it'll be on a bunch of other video sharing sites. So bye bye,
Excellent.
and have a great day in New York.
All right, thank you. You
Bye
too.
bye.
Bye.